Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now, the dynamics of migration, livelihoods and health are complex and unfold over time. Now, the in-depth Network Migration and Urbanization Working Group says the best way to observe these interactions within families and households is through surveillance of the same households over time. Now, for a macro-level look at migration trends in sub-Saharan Africa, we're now joined in the studio by Dr. Annette TV from In-Depth. Good morning and welcome to 180 Degrees.
Morning. Yeah.
What are the latest trends in terms of migration?
Oh, what we found in the book was both on adult mortality and child mortality. We saw for adult mortality that what we always thought that migrants were healthier and that's why they migrated to urban areas. But we now saw that they often go back to the rural area and they are sick and they have a higher mortality than those who never migrated or who came back already for a long time. Then for the kids, you see different things. You see that if they're living in a slum settlement, for example, in Nairobi, you see if their mothers came from a rural area, they might not know the ways to get healthcare for the children, and those children have a higher mortality. But on the other hand, those who come from an urban area and go to a rural area still have a lower mortality than those children who stayed in the rural area.
Was this the gist of your presentation at Wits University yesterday?
Yes, I gave a seminar which highlights a few chapters of the book and also includes an article that was already published earlier on.
Now, what are the hot spots for migration? We know we've always looked at North Africa, people going into Europe, but give us a picture there and perhaps a Southern African picture. There used to be a time when Zimbabweans were moving to South Africa. Is that still the case? Are they moving back?
Yeah, this book focused actually on migrations within countries. So it's like, for example, here in South Africa, Agincourt, which lies near the Kruger Park, there's people from the rural area who go to urban areas, for example, here in Johannesburg. Same with Manyika, which is a rural area in Mozambique. Those come to South Africa also to work. And then you have Nairobi. People come from a rural area to work in Nairobi, live in the slums there. That are the types of migration that I studied in the book. They're always, like, you always hear about those international migrations, but this takes place already for years and years.
We spoke about the impact on younger people and older people. What about between genders?
Yeah, what they see, it used to be that it mostly were males who migrated to the cities, but in later years it's also the women who go to the cities, and that has consequences, for example, for the care of the children.
And the effects on the logistics of the cities?
I'm sorry?
In terms of the availability of sanitation, accommodation, what sort of effects is that pressure put on those services because there are more people coming in?
Well, I think on the one hand you see there's more pressure in the cities so that the facilities aren't right, so people that might influence that people are getting sick earlier on. They're always talking about that healthcare facilities in the cities are burdened, but what you see now, if people go back to the rural areas when they're very sick, that burdens the system there as well. And not only the healthcare system, also the families who are burdened, and they lose money what used to be coming in from the migrants.
Wow. Now, can you tell us more of the theme on the disruption and separation of individuals and functional social units?
Well, that's what I already a little bit indicated. Males go to the city to work, but now also the females go to the city to work. So children in the rural areas are taken care of by the grandparents often, and other family members. And if those parents come back sick, then the social network and the income that used to be coming in is gone, which is a high burden on the rural families.
It used to be that people migrated because there were perceived better opportunities in cities. But now, particularly in South Africa, the new administration has promised better emphasis on rural areas. Has that started to make a difference, or probably not?
I don't think we can already see those effects, because people still think that there are better opportunities when they go to the city. Although, like what you see in the Agincourt area as well, people also go to nearby farms to work there as well.
And what sort of overall message are we supposed to be getting from both the presentation and the book?
Well, what you see, like from the health chapters, they mainly highlight the negative consequences, like a higher mortality from those who migrated and the influences on child mortality. But on the other hand, on the livelihood chapters, which relates to socioeconomic status, you see a lot of positive effects from money coming in, new opportunities. If you have parents that got new ideas in the urban area, they will promote, for example, that you as a child are educated. Okay. So you see it goes both sides, and positive effects, negative effects, different for the migrants itself and their families. And I think this is just a start when comparing the African side, some Asian sides, and we hope with this book to get a basis for future research.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Annette Gerritsen from In Depth, talking to us about a presentation she made yesterday and a publication about latest trends in migration in sub-Saharan Africa. We thank you for your time.
Okay, you're welcome.
Now, a controversial new movie, War Boys, looks at life on the US-Mexican border. The movie looks at how self-anointed civilian border patrols keep Mexicans from going into the United States.